We've talked about the four main types of triads, and this is a reminder of how we build different triads. A chord is a combination of three or more notes, as we know, and chords are built off a single note called the root. Triads have a root, a third, and a fifth, named after how far they are from the root. So a major triad, or a major third, has, or a major chord rather, has these three notes, a root, which in this case is C, the third, which is on E, and the fifth. So we got to make sure though that this is a major chord. And so of course we want the third to be a major third, which is 4 half steps they say here, but a half step is a semitone. Semitone, half step, same thing. And then a perfect fifth from C to G is 7 semitones. So now remember, if I go back a step, that these notes are called thirds because C, D, E, there's 3 notes involved, or C, D, E, F, G, there's 5 notes involved, or you could look at line, space, line. That makes it a third. Bum, bum, bum. Makes it a fifth because we have line, space, line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The intervals are actually the jumps of semitones in between them. So it might sound a little confusing that your third has 4 semitones, and that doesn't sound like it relates, and your fifth has 7 semitones, but they just happen to both be using numbers in a different way. Since the chord contains no black keys, we don't need to write any accidentals, but that's not always the case. So that's a major triad. Here's another major triad, and this one actually starts on the black key of E flat. Notice the flat is written before the E. So then we just traffic light it if the note is on a line. The third and the fifth will also be on lines. And then we need to figure out if these thirds are major or minor. So from E flat, which is the black key, we jump 1, 2, 3, 4 to the G. It's neither flat nor sharp, so we're not going to change it. But the fifth is actually when we count from E flat, this is a jump, 1 jump, 2 jumps, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we end up on this black key. This black key has to be called B flat because remember there's 2 things we're looking at. This is 7 semitones away, so it's got to be that key. It can't be that white key or the other white key near it. It's got to be that key. How we name it could be A sharp or B flat, but we've got a root, a third, and a fifth. It's got to be B flat. That's why it's spelled that way. The minor triad is very similar. It has a root, a third, and a fifth. It looks like a traffic light or a snowman or woman. But instead of having 4 semitones up, a minor third has 3 semitones up. It's still going to be called some kind of E, and the fifth is still going to be 7 semitones. That's still perfect. That's still the same. But in this case, we have to make that E flat because 1, 2, 3 jumps only takes us to that black key E flat, and it has a different sound. So again, flats and minor are not necessarily connected ideas. It's that number of jumps which either makes it a major or minor third is what I'm looking for there. If you start on a different key like, for example, again, E flat, we're still going to traffic light and put our 3 notes in there to make a triad, but then we still have to check. Is our first set of notes, we've got our perfect fifth still. In this case, your perfect fifth goes to B flat, like we did before. But if you look at your 3 semitones to the third, it's got to be G flat in order to make it an E flat minor chord. So we'll deal with diminished and augmented chords in another video, but this essentially gives you enough information to construct major and minor chords from anywhere on the staff.